What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a live stream. The Newcastle versus Burnley game is on, but it's Newcastle versus Burnley, so I don't think most people care about that. I think the highest owned player for live teams according to Fantasy Football Fix is Joe Hart, and he conceded after 4 minutes. So who cares about that game? Worry about that afterwards. Apologies that I couldn't do the stream yesterday. Internet went down literally from like 8 till 12 or something like that. I checked the next day. It was down for like 3 or 4 hours. So, yeah, nothing I could do about it. I wasn't going to stream, but there is so much to talk about, I feel, after this game week. I'm trying to remain calm. I've basically got a team that I could make no transfers for. You know, I could save a transfer this week and go into next week with 2. But I also want to take a hit. So it's that kind of week. I'm trying not to react too much to having a bad week. I think sometimes when you have these kind of weeks, it's best to just relax a bit and just realize that these weeks come along and it can all change the week after. For anyone who saw my tweet saying it's a momentous time for the channel, so let me show you this. You don't usually get to see this live on stream. Usually I want subscribers, but I was hoping for them to slow down today. So let me just switch screens. We're on 24,999. So if someone's watching who hasn't subscribed, hit that button and we will hit 25,000 subscribers, which would be ridiculous. There we go. Thank you. Like I said at the start of the season, my hope by the end of the season was to hit 15,000, and now we're at 25,000 and we're only like a third of the way through, so obviously that's going to keep going up now as people subscribe. Hopefully loads of you don't now unsubscribe, but whatever. Thanks very much for that. I just want to say thanks to everyone that's subscribed who's watching these streams and videos every week. Like I always say, there's plenty of people that tune into every single stream, watch every single video, hit a like on the videos, etc., etc. Let me just tweet this. So I really appreciate that. I basically started this stream with 50 viewers on my first stream because I was bored one night, and now there's 25,000. So it's pretty ridiculous. But now we move on to 50k. Probably gonna have to wait till next season or the season after that for that. But look, that's amazing. I'm just going to quickly tweet about it because I did put write about it. Sorry. So thanks. One more thing to say. Oh, this screen. The mustache is still here. It's going to be gone on Friday. It is doing my head in. I hate it, but it is for charity. So if you haven't already, I know loads of you have already donated. I really appreciate that. If you've got a few quid to spare, click the link in the description. We're at 600 quid, 600 euro. The current target, although I will amend it obviously if we hit it before Friday, is 650. So if we get that before the end of the stream, amazing. But yeah, that's it. Let's talk about FPL. That's why everyone's here. What is there to talk about? Let me quickly talk about my team, and I might do this one a bit differently and go through some of the matches because I watched the Spurs game, and it was like watching a different team than I've seen for the rest of the season or the previous part of the season. But let's talk about my team. I benched Trent Alexander-Arnold. This is part of the reason for like staying calm and not making any rash decision, because there's lots of talk on the deadline stream on Saturday, about benching Arnautovic, and the thought did go through my mind at one point not to bench Arnautovic, but to not bring Martial in necessarily, just do the Keane move and just play Trent. And I can't complain too much because I basically benched Trent to play Keane, and I wasn't expecting Trent to hit a 30-yard free kick. If he hadn't done that, then he would have probably got the same or slightly less points than Keane. So it happens. A big a big mistake on my part. I mean, I don't know if it was a huge mistake to make that call, but obviously it now looks really bad because he got 14 points. But look, it's just, if there's another way to look at it, is that I've got a fairly strong squad. And I'm pretty happy overall with my defence. So, yeah, it looks like a huge mistake now. Obviously, lots of people telling me that since Martial did nothing. I think we said on the stream, and a few people mentioned it on Twitter and stuff, that Martial might get basically locked down by Wan-Bissaka, and it did happen. And it wasn't just Wan-Bissaka; it's the way Palace played. They basically targeted Martial. MacArthur was constantly helping Wan-Bissaka out, so he was never left one-on-one, or at least not that often, and Martial didn't get in behind that often, so obviously he's still got a few good fixtures to come, so don't want to go too nuts about transferring him out, but I am thinking about it. Let me see, who scored? Vokes has scored. Burnley, 2-1. It's 2-1 to Newcastle. Burnley has scored. Vokes, assist from me, so that's me's second attack and return today. Unfortunately, the first one was an own goal, which isn't good. Vokes is 5.3, yeah. Vokes even came into my thinking yesterday, along with Hosselu and anyone that was basically below 5.5 million. Lukaku starting kind of kills Martial. I wish Salah had been dropped. I would have brought in Sterling and captained him. Yeah, we were talking about that on Saturday. Look, I mean, Salah still got points, but obviously not as much as Sterling. I kind of want to talk Man City. I don't want to sit here and say again for like the 6th or 7th week in a row, it's not the right time to bring in Sterling. That was my initial thought, because if I just quickly switch to my let me bring it up, my team for this week. So basically, if I want to bring in Sterling, then Aguero has to go for a hit, Hazard has to go, and Salah has to go, and they've all got good fixtures. I'm still thinking about doing it anyway. I haven't actually mentioned, there are 4 polls, I think. One of them is, are you bringing in any Man City players? So it'd be good to get your thoughts on that. But yeah, what do you want to do? Do you want to discuss just questions you've got? We go through a couple of the matches? I'll go through some of the matches that had like kind of stuff to talk about. I mean, Brighton versus Leicester 1-1. Not a huge amount to talk about there. Although Ryan is yellow flagged now, which is annoying. Is Sané set and forget? Are we going to bring in Kane? I mean, we're talking about Man City, so I mean, what is there to say? They score 3. It's probably 3+ goals a game now, just over 3 goals a game. I've got Aguero. He did blank again away, so maybe that is a thing. I still think the sample size of easy games is quite small, but wasn't really. He was never really in the game that much. Obviously, Sané and Sterling took all the headlines, and I feel like I've got to get them in. And if I say that, Hazard's got Fulham and Salah's got Everton, how long am I going to keep saying that for? And if I switch Salah to Sterling, Sterling has Bournemouth. It's not like that's a hard fixture necessarily for Man City. And the comments from Pep about Sterling's playing better because he knows that Mahrez has got Mahrez could come in and take his place, and Mahrez is trying to play better or is playing better because Sterling's his competition. But he didn't really mention Sané, and we did kind of say that with Mendy out, Sané could now become an option. And I mean, when he's played this season, he has been incredible, like better than Sterling. I think his minutes. I think it is Adam Hopcroft on Twitter earlier. I think it was his minutes per like assist or goal. Let me have a look. Let me just look it up a sec. Where is it? Yeah, minutes per FPL goal involvement. So either a goal or assist. Every 54 minutes, Sané has got a goal or assist. Sterling's at 67. Aguero is at 68. So I'm looking at a hit this week to bring in Man City players just to get it done, get them in my team, which would be Salah and Martial out to bring in Sterling and Sané, and then I would have triple City attack for Bournemouth. But I don't even know if that's too much, to be honest. Longer term, maybe Aguero will go. And the reason I wouldn't take Hazard out is because if I do Salah out, I can afford the Sané move as well. But I could just do Salah or Hazard to Sterling. But I feel like I've got to get one this week. It's just, not only are they amazing, but their ownership's like, I don't know what it is in the top 10k, but Sterling's overall ownership's like 12% or 13% or something like that. And Sané's is less than 6, or at least it was earlier when I checked. Let me just double check now. That is just too good to turn down. And if people are slow to get on them, it doesn't look like they're going to let up anytime soon. Sané is 5.6. That is insane. Insane, even. They've got good fixtures coming up. They've got I think it's Chelsea game in 3 game weeks' time, which is going to be tough. And to be fair, if you sell your Liverpool players for game week 16, captaincy is a little bit tough. Because Man City played Chelsea. I think Spurs are away. Maybe if you've got Martial, he could be a captain. But I just think I've got to go for it. I just think I have to bring in one this week. I'm just hurting myself by not bringing him in. And their ownership is just incredible. Like, how can you turn down Sané at 5.6% when he's getting a goal or assist every less than 60 minutes? And is that going to keep up for the rest of the season? Maybe not. But with the fixtures they got coming up, they got Bournemouth, Everton, Palace at home in the next 5. Watford away and Chelsea. I mean, even against Chelsea, they could get points. And we saw Chelsea were awful against Spurs. It wasn't insane 2 weeks ago, but we should have known to act with Mendy out. Yeah, I did talk about. I actually thought. I will admit, I said 9.2 million. I wasn't sure. I mean, what an idiot I was. Is it too late to bring Salah in? I don't know if there's that much merit in bringing him in now. Unless you've got a spare slot for him and you've got Man City players and Hazard and stuff. Does your Sané decision depend on who plays for City in the Champions League? I mean, I have to look at that, yeah. But I don't want to try and second guess it too much. At the end of the day, if I bring in 2 City mids and they both get put on the bench, then I'll consider myself quite unlucky, knowing that they're going to get benched at some point. But this is what I've been looking at. Salah and Martial to Sterling and Sané, 1 hit this week. Next week, after Hazard plays Fulham, the week after, Hazard's out for Ali, Eriksen or Son, and then Aguero to Kane. So I'd have double City, double Spurs, and just trying to get ahead of everyone else. Now, obviously, people have been talking about Game Week 15 for Spurs for, weeks now. So it's not like everyone's not aware of it. But I just think I want to take the hit and get in there quick rather than waiting around. But I'm also fully aware that I look at my team this week and I could just make no transfers. I mean, I've got Doherty on the bench right now, and arguably I want to play him. And yeah, there is, as Adam points out, there's a lot of games in quick succession, so there probably is going to be some benchings. If you were to triple up on City, who would be your choices? I think you just pick 3 of Aguero, Sané, Sterling, and David Silva. I think they're the 4 to look at, really. Doing the same moves for minus 8. Kane seems to be coming good. I mean, Kane is still not scoring that heavily points-wise. But if eye test, if there's anything to say for eye test, then Spurs were incredible against Chelsea. Now, they didn't necessarily keep it up for the whole game, and Chelsea were kind of their own worst enemy. But, I mean, Son was like a man possessed, like a guy that hadn't played football for ages. And I suppose he hasn't played that much football for Spurs this year. And I don't know, he just looked like he was, I don't know, fighting for his place, like it was a final or something. He was just everywhere. He got so many chances. I mean, I tweeted in the first half about how good he was playing. People tweeted me back saying he was missing, but that happens. If he's getting the chances, then that's what you need. And I think we said over on the deadline stream or on Thursday's stream last week about, like, I wanted to see a Spurs team with Kane, Son, Ali and Eriksen, because that is the core 4 who usually play in that attack, who did so well last year. And that's the first time they've started. And look how well they did. So Ali's kind of come out and said that he's playing a bit deeper than normal and that maybe he's not looking at goals and assists as much as he once was. I mean, he got a goal and an assist at the weekend, so Who knows if that's definitely a thing. But Ericsson looked really good. He was running the show. Now we know he's kind of got I don't know exactly the issue he's got, but it's like a stomach problem. So whether he can play week in, week out, I don't know. But I love Son. I love owning him. I think I owned him this time last year around Christmas time. He's always a good price. When he plays, he gets points. He's just the man I want. I didn't even have to wait for him to score. It was that first half. I even tweeted out. I said, I've been waiting for these four to play together. After 17 minutes, I'm sold. And I am. So, lots to kind of get excited about FPL-wise from the weekend of new players who could bring into our team. People selling Martial now are just knee-jerk and reactionary. You are correct to a certain extent. I think for me, there's definitely some knee jerking, right? I've said that, I've admitted that. Of course it is. You've bought him in, now you're looking at getting rid. But I feel like it was a mistake. We saw on Saturday that he's maybe got this problem where they need to keep him rested a bit more between games. Man United are rubbish. He was never going to keep up his performances, like his output. Now, doesn't mean he can't get anything over the next couple of weeks, of course. I just feel if I can get Sterling and Sané and not have Martial, like surely Sané and Sterling beat Salah and Martial. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a rush to get Martial. I think sometimes when you sit here and you try and justify your decisions, I don't think if someone said to me, "I've just bought Martial, should I sell him?" I think my answer would be no. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to do it. I may still do it. We'll have to wait and see. But you're right, it is a knee-jerk. He could get points against Southampton. They're awful. They've got Fulham as well, who, yes, they got back to winning ways against Southampton. They still conceded 2 goals. So it doesn't necessarily look like the defence is patched up. Obviously, Ranieri's not had too much time to come in and fix it. So maybe by the time Man United played them, that will help. But as someone pointed out on the stream on Saturday, my season had been going okay because I didn't have Man United players, and I get Martial in, and this happens. Now, obviously, it's not just him. My whole team did badly. But I watched that Man United versus Crystal Palace game. It was on in Sky in Ireland, and it's just depressing to watch. There's just no game plan, no cohesion. Lukaku's first touch and general play was just awful. Martial got in some okay positions. I thought Lingard was okay actually, but then he got brought off. Pogba gets brought off. I just don't know what's going on with that team, and they just look lost already. Top 4 looks tough already. I don't know. I just feel like if I keep Martial, I'm going to regret it. We'll see. What else do we want to talk about? Do you think City could have bad weeks coming up with the Champions League clash? I don't. What I need to do, I don't know if anyone else has looked into it, is what did they do over Christmas last year? When the fixtures started coming a bit more thick and fast, did the amount of goals they scored go down? I mean, they scored, 100 goals last year or something? So probably not. If you bought Martial in, you must have thought he could have scored in the next few games. Yeah, I bought him in for the kind of the 4 fixtures, Fulham, Southampton, and whoever they just played, Palace. The problem is not that I think Martial won't score. My thought process is that Sané will outscore him, and if I get rid of Salah for Sterling, I can afford that. So it's not really that I'm worried Martial will score nothing, but I think even if he does score, Sané will probably beat him. If you bring in Sterling, who would you captain? I would probably try and second guess who's going to play based on who played in the Champions League and stuff. But I think I'd have to just whack it on Sterling and not captain Aguero. Talk about Tottenham midfielders. We kind of already talked about them. I think I like the look of them. Let's bear in mind it's only been one game week where they've played together. I think there's probably no rush to get them in this week, so you can give them another week to kind of assess, etc. Salah is eating up a lot of budget but giving good returns. Yeah, he's very consistent. Consistent at getting 8 points. I don't really have a problem with that. I think an 8-point captain is not amazing, but if you can get that every week, you're probably happy-ish, as long as you get a few bigger scores every now and again. The problem with Salah is, in previous seasons, if Kane or Aguero were 13 million, they were kind of getting 8-9 points a game. You'd actually probably be happy. The problem Salah has, or my thinking with Salah is, he's doing well for 30 million, but players are doing well for less, and with the likes of Sterling especially, he looks like he's going to be just as consistent, apart from Man City are scoring lots more goals. So let's not forget that Liverpool scored quite a few goals last year. They don't necessarily look like they're always going to do that this year. So I don't think that Salah will stop scoring points. I don't think that's ever the issue. It's just the money. And Man City I'm very confident Man City are going to keep putting 3 to 4 goals past teams week in, week out if they're not in the top 6. But people are talking in the chat about Hazard. He's potentially got a little knock now. Chelsea were awful against Spurs. He wasn't great himself. It is Fulham. Fulham are still leaking goals, so I'm not too keen to get rid of him this week. But let me just double check what he's done. It's not a lot recently. And this is where I think sometimes there's a double standard. Like, obviously there's a price difference between Hazard and Salah, but Salah has been consistently getting points. Hazard has got scores of 1 against Man United, 4 against Palace, but obviously came on late so he did get an assist. Nothing against Everton, nothing against Spurs. It's getting a little worrying now. Scored all those goals, and then we've seen him do this before. I just think the Fulham game, I know you can kind of get trapped by waiting for the good fixture, but the Fulham game is decent, I think. And then it's Wolves away, Man City at home, so I could probably confident enough to not have him for those two. And then it's another away game, although it is against Brighton. So the fixtures are pretty good for Hazard. I'd like to keep him. I would like to keep him. But I can see why people are getting rid. He's just so much money. Again, it's just hard to ignore Sterling, Sané, and Silva the way they're playing, because they're just not going to stop scoring points. It's not going to happen. And Hazard looks to have this kind of this problem with playing with Morata. I mean, Morata is just. I think, did I read somewhere that Morata has been offside more times than Bournemouth this year? And he hasn't even started all the games. So I just worry about Chelsea a little bit. But at the end of the day, it is Fulham, who like to concede goals. So I think the one thing for sure is I probably won't captain Hazard this week now. If Hazard blanks against Fulham with stuff, can't sell due to fixtures and his price will plummet. If he blanks versus Fulham, I'll definitely get rid, because Spurs have got good fixtures then. And if Son plays again, I'll definitely be looking to bring him in. Someone just pointed out in the chat he's on 1.6% ownership. I am all in for that. More worried about Alonso than Hazard. He's done alright recently though, hasn't he, Alonso? I mean, sure, he scored 1 this week, but there's 8, 6, 11 in the 3 weeks before that. I mean, I'm not too concerned about him, if I'm honest. Especially with Fulham up next. What's it going on, Ray? First time tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy it. Looking for penalties to justify Hazard is desperate. Don't be stubborn. Yeah, I mean, if he's fit, I mean, what's going to happen is if Sarri puts any doubt in people's minds that Hazard is not going to play, he will get sold by the bucket loads for Sterling, and I think I will probably do that too, and I will just keep Salah and probably captain Sterling. if he's fit, I can definitely see a good reason to keep this week. But I think with Wolves away and then Man City at home, I think I would still... I don't think I would get into that trap of keeping him. People are forgetting about Arsenal. The problem with Arsenal is, outside of their defence, who do you get? Like, I think Lacazette was injured this week. You know, him and Aubameyang. I mean, Ramsey's getting benched. Ozil's getting benched. I don't really want Mkhitaryan after earlier in the season. So I think if I look between Spurs and Arsenal, there's definitely more players in the Spurs team that I want. So not forgetting about them. Plus their fixture swing is like a week later than the Spurs, so you've got a little bit longer to think about them. From what I've seen, Chelsea's defence are more leaky than the general perception. Yeah, people were saying that actually, that they probably should have conceded more than they had at that point. Aubameyang is excellent value. The thing is, once Lacazette's fully fit again, will Aubameyang keep starting every week? Yeah, Leno I like. So apart from, like I said, apart from defence, in the attack I'm not too sure about him. I might need to switch. That's the thing. Like I'm looking at doing hits for Salah and Martial. I might need to make a goalkeeper transfer yet. Ryan isn't fit. Steele's been on the bench. Freaking annoying. If you downgrade Salah to Sané, could you turn Arnie into Aubameyang? Yeah, probably, because that's like a 3.2 million sale. Nothing. I've got $500,000 in the bank. Do we need Liverpool attacking coverage? I don't think you need to cover anyone necessarily. I don't like the term coverage. Like, you get Mane in, you got to compare them to who else you get. So is Mane a good option? Yeah, he's probably okay. Sané is similar price. You've got Salah, you've got Sterling scoring more for less money. Firmino, I mean, we don't even need to talk about Firmino. I did own David Silva. That whole 2 weeks was part of very poor choices for me. Sold David Silva, sold Callum Wilson before his massive 33 points in 4 weeks. Got Kane, should have just kept Salah. Did mean I had Richarlison though. Am I happy with Jimenez? Absolutely. I mean, did you see how close he was to points? Yeah, I'm definitely happy with him. I think it was a third striker. Do I feel I'm spending too much in defence? Absolutely not. I mean, Doherty I got for 4.4. Wan-Bissaka I got for 4. Trent 5.2. Keane 5. I mean, arguably I could have got someone a bit cheaper than Keane, like a Diop or someone. That would have also meant I would have played Trent this week. And that would have taken a bit more money out, and I could have rotated a bit. But I'm pretty happy with my defence. I think it's cheap enough. I think I've taken enough out of it to go bigger up top. Wolves' defence not worth it anymore. I think they've kept no clean sheets in the last 5. It's a bit worrying, to be honest. Now they've got an away game. Not too confident. I don't know if I'm happy about benching Doherty though. With his attacking potential. But Wan-Bissaka is an absolute bonus magnet. If Crystal Palace get a clean sheet against Burnley, he will get bonus. Trent, obviously, we've seen how well he's done recently, and I can't bench Fulham against Fulham, home or away. So the only thing I might consider is Richarlison benched and play Doherty, but I'm not a fan of benching the attacker, and I know I should have benched on Arnautovic last week, but I don't know if Richarlison against Liverpool is quite the same necessarily. Wan-Bissaka does not get points from playing. I think I got 9 points from him 2 weeks in a row. Here's my tip of the week. Jazza. Watch out for a certain striker. Xande Silva. 18 goals and 11 reserve team appearances at West Ham and just back from injury. But he's not going to start, surely. So if we kept our wildcard until now, is it best to keep it and use when Spurs fixtures become juicy? I mean, it depends who you've got. If you've not got Man City players and stuff like that, you might want to look at using it now and just get Spurs players in advance. But yeah, I mean, Gameweek 15 would look good for that. You just switched out Salah for Sterling and Mendy for Robertson. Should be good. A very solid defender. And a great midfielder. Wolves seem to be spent. I mean, they're going for a tricky patch right now, and I guess it's kind of the toughness of the Premier League. But I think they've looked good enough to turn it around. So we'll see how it goes. Liverpool just 1 goal against at Anfield. Well, I'm definitely playing Trent this week, that's for sure. How about Schürrle, 5 goals? Yeah, I mean, Fulham obviously 3 goals. Mitrovic brace. All those people got rid of Mitrovic and he scores a brace. I mean, you made the right decision to get rid, but yeah, him, Schürrle and Sessegnon, definitely got to look at them now under Ranieri. I think the beauty of them is they've got a pretty nice set of fixtures from Gameweek 17, so we get to see them for a few weeks to see how they perform. I don't know if I'd want to jump straight on their picks right now after just 1 game, but definitely look good. At least good on the goals front, still very poor defensively. Make sure you have Gameweek 15 Kane captain. Might not, you know. Might have Son captain. How about that? You have never addressed Sigurdsson. He's scored and assisted so consistently. He has, yeah, but he's a bit more money than Richarlison. So I think we spoke about him last week or the week before. I can see why people are looking at him, but for me, I'm just not going to make that upgrade from Richarlison to Sigurdsson. I think Richarlison will still chip in with points as well for a cheaper price. And Everton have got good fixtures though, so if you've got Sigurdsson, obviously he's a keep, and you could look at bringing him in if you've not got Richarlison. I'm not convinced there's enough there for a double up though. So much to think about all of a sudden. Kane still and Arnautovic. Yeah, Arnautovic is a little bit of a worry with that injury. Hopefully he'll be past fit as well. Got 3 flags, not good. Newcastle away should be an okay fixture for him, and obviously West Ham do have good fixtures going forward, so I'm hoping Arnautovic is fine. I still think he's value for money if he plays. It's a bit worrying though with that knee. Like, how many games will he play? Will he play Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever his game is, and then the next weekend? We'll have to see. Sadio, I just seen a tweet. Sadio Mane is set to be assessed tomorrow morning after a training session at Melwood, where Klopp will make a final decision on his fitness. So he might not be fit midweek, although he could be back for the next weekend. Am I confident about Son's minutes? I don't know if I could sit here and say I'm confident. Obviously, he's just come back into the team properly. You know, and unlike maybe previous seasons, yes, they've got Son, Ali and Eriksen back now, but they've also got Lucas Moura and Lamella, who've been playing. I mean, Lamella especially has been playing pretty well, so they could come in easily into the team. Let me see. Oh, I think I've got some more. Hang on, I think I've got some more donations. So let me just bring them up. Do the shout outs quick. Like I said, if you've got a few quid spare and you want to donate for Movember, you've got until whenever. I don't think they close down the donation pages, but the moustache will be off on Friday. So you can maybe donate up until then if you've got some spare money. So who haven't I read out yet? So Elias I definitely read out. Andrew Talbot, Alan Pearce, Chris Chorley. Maybe he said maybe auction off your moustache at the end, or maybe it could be a guest on Fantasy Football Scout one week. And then anonymous supporter, thanks very much, whoever you are. And then Jenks has just donated €20. So we're up to €620 now. Matt Ritchie missed an open goal. Oof. Sigurdsson is a good non-template returner. Yeah, that's a nice way of looking at it, actually. He is going to consistently get you points, and a lot of people don't own him. Most of the community and stuff will own Richarlison. Yeah, I'm not really sure how you auction off a moustache, because it's not like I can just take it off in one piece. Unless I'm completely missing something somewhere. Thoughts on Van Aanholt? I've not seen much of Palace recently, but I was quite impressed with him against Man United. Should have probably had a goal, to be honest. And with their fixtures coming up, he could be good. I think the problem with Van Aanholt that I'm going to have with him for most of the season is it's a question of, do I want to double on Palace defence? And I'm not sure I do, because Wan-Bissaka is such good value for money. I feel like you have to have him in your squads because he plays, he's cheap, he gets bonus points when they get clean sheets. Obviously with Van Aanholt, he could pick up bonus too, but you're obviously hoping with attacking returns, and he's a bit more expensive. So I'm not sure about a double at that. I mean, it's those kind of moves that can bust the template. You go double up on, like people did it before with Wolves defence. Hasn't worked so well against Huddersfield, of course, but you could make that kind of move and double up, but probably not for me. Would you do Richarlison and Salah to Son and Sterling? Oh, it sounds so good. I'd probably, although Richarlison's no good this week, is he? Who do Spurs actually have? I can't even remember off the top of my head. Oh, Arsenal away. Okay, so North London derby. I think the Salah to Sterling move can be done. I don't know if you need to do the second move. I don't feel we can justify Van Aanholt since Wan-Bissaka exists. Yeah, that's basically what I think too. Wax and strip it. Oh no, look, it's getting shaved straight off as soon as I can, so I can go back to looking like a less odd person. I mean, it still look weird, of course. I mean, look at this face, but not as weird as with a moustache. Solve your goalkeeper problem or solve the no City mids issue. I mean, if Ryan's fit, if Ryan's not fit, I might have to forget about the City mids for another week. I don't want to play with no goalkeeper, even though I could just bring in a keeper and they might get 2 points. Kane does have a pretty good record in the North London derby, yeah, but I try not to take too much attention to those records. But Arsenal haven't looked that defensively solid, so I wouldn't be too worried if I had Kane this week. Just in Salah and Arnie to Kane and Sterling because of the money in the bank. People making early transfers. There's Champions League people. Or Europe as well. I think there's Europa League. I really wouldn't make transfers unless you absolutely have to. I know some people have got like zero in the bank to make the moves, so I can see why they're doing it, but I would hate to bring in Sterling and see him get injured midweek. Which three-man City to have if you have Laporte? I mean, 2 attackers. Sterling, Sané, Aguero, Silva. Take your pick. I'm quite glad now about not bringing in Laporte or Stones. I mean, obviously Stones was a dud because he didn't play or he didn't start. I don't know if he came on. I don't think so. But now I've not got that Man City defender. I think for the points return that, I bought in Keane instead of Laporte and Keane's outscored him. Now, I'm not expecting that every week, but hopefully with the rotation of defenders, I can somewhat match Laporte, and that also gives me money to invest elsewhere. And I could go triple attack, and I'm not sure that's necessarily too much, to be honest, the way they're playing. I'm not sure if I'd want it too long term. But yeah, I mean, this week, Sané, Sterling, Aguero versus Bournemouth at home. Happy with that. What I'm waiting for Sterling is he was 11.1 on Saturday and will be 11.4 on Saturday morning. I mean, he's already 11.3 for me now. I'll happily wait and pay that extra 1.1 million. Yeah, that's the thing. Laporte's 6 million now. He's not 5.5 anymore. And I mean, I don't think if you've got Laporte, I don't think not being able to get 3 Man City attackers is necessarily the worst thing in the world, to be honest. But I do like that I have that option now. You've had Edison since Gameweek 5. Nicely done. 192 overall ranking. Oof. Nosebleed territory. Right, anything else Anything else we want to talk about that's not Man City attackers, not Salah? Don't forget, by the way, vote on the polls if you haven't already. There's 4 in total. Hit like on the stream if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. And make sure you subscribe. We're past 25,000 now, so just need a couple more to get to the 50,000 mark. And we'll go through the polls in about 10 minutes or so. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to quickly shout out the patrons as well. So the producers: Dean P, Madcheck, Alex C, Melissa B, Matthew H, Hayden H, and Christopher M. Thanks very much. If you want to check that out, links in the description. Discord channel, league with, I think it's like a $250 prize. Entry to that stops in January, and then you can win mugs and stuff for winning the monthly prize. What's my overall points? They are 840, and I'm all out. I've not got any more points to come this week. Talk Everton, generally. I mean, we've already talked about Richarlison and Sigurdsson. I'm not really sure there's too many other attacking options to think about in Everton. Defence is interesting, though. Keane obviously did pretty well on bonus, which is why I got him in. So I was a bit annoyed at the end because he was the only one without bonus, but then it changed when they readjusted it. I think Mina looked pretty good. Dini obviously didn't get anything, but I think assists are coming for him. So I think Everton defence is okay to invest in. You're not going to do it this week, obviously, but the week after for sure. I think that's 4 clean sheets now in 7 games or something like that. Or they haven't conceded much in the last 6-7 games. So I'm pretty happy with them. I think they're looking okay in defence. Well, they're not a Man City or a Liverpool, of course, but you don't have to pay as much money for them. So look, your team needs a fair bit of surgery. No City mids, no Robertson. I mean, I don't feel like I need Robertson, honestly. Jimenez is average. I mean, Jimenez has been great. And he's very cheap. So again, I got no problems with Jimenez at all. He's averaging 4.5 points per game. Which is only 0.7 less than Kane. So I'm pretty happy with him for not much money. What else was the points? Martial points run over. I mean, we'll see about that. We don't know that for sure. Do I have a wild card? No. Don't think I need one though. Don't want to wish you harm, but in the long run, I think Marco Silva's style is not good for clean sheets. No, I agree. In the kind of feeling around him is that he obviously goes on the attack and doesn't necessarily worry so much about defence, but they've done right recently. I think the fixtures are there, and you don't have to play them every week. So I think they're fine to invest in. Not this week. Sané versus Eriksen, 9.3 versus 9.2. Look, maybe it's a bit reactionary because of how well they did this week, but I just cannot look past Sané and Sterling right now. How is the wildcard best utilised for Christmas and December in general, considering there are 3 game weeks and 7 days next week? Have a team with an all-play... I mean, you definitely need... We said this on the last stream, like, an all-playing bench does not mean you have to spend money on it. Like, you can get Bennett, Wan-Bissaka in defence, Diop or someone like that, very cheap defenders, get a cheap backup keeper and, you know, a midfielder or a forward that's going to play. But yeah, if you're wildcarding with Christmas coming up and loads of games, definitely get a playing bench. No point in going otherwise. How many people would ask you what your game week rank was compared to how many have asked what your total points are on? Can you change game week rank to total points? I can, although counterpoint, maybe they don't ask for game week rank because it's on the screen. Just a thought. But I could change it, yeah. I would definitely forget to do that though. Don't double up on Everton. Yeah, no one's saying double up on Everton defence, but I think one is fine. But again, not this week. Don't think many people expect a clean sheet against Liverpool. And I've got Keane's third on my bench. I saw Dean Garner started again, but came off before 60. I think that bandwagon's well and truly over already. My transfer now Hazard, not necessarily. Would I bring in Bailly or Jones now that Lindelof is out? Yeah, I don't think we've had a prognosis on exactly what's wrong with Lindelof, how long he's going to be out for. But at the end of the game, he couldn't run. He did stay on, but he could barely run. So we'll see how long he's out for. I wouldn't be looking at Man United defence. And Bailly and Jones, I mean, if Jones played, I'd arguably look at that defence a bit more. But I think I'd be looking more like Shaw if you really wanted a Man United defender. But I'm just not sure that's a good idea right now, to be honest. There's a few 4.2 playing defenders about. Yoshida, Cunningham, Christie. Yeah, I mean, there's a few to choose from, like you say. Wolves, I think someone was just saying that Fulham got Lamarshland. I've definitely pronounced that wrong. Yeah, just get players that are going to play and hope they can get you something when needed. How am I getting Sterling? Yeah, downgrading one of Salah or Hazard probably. I'm probably not going to take Aguero out before Bournemouth at home. Is Dele Alli a good captaincy choice against Arsenal for the North London derby? I mean, of course, like any player in those kind of games, he could get points, but no, I don't think, with the other players you've probably got at your disposal, I don't think he's probably the best captain choice this week. Mourinho said Lindelof should be back in a few weeks. It's a muscular injury. Okay, fair enough. I still don't think I'll be looking at Man United centre-backs. You don't even know who's going to play. You know, is it Bailly? Is it Jones? Mourinho said in the presser, Lindelof comes back around 3rd of January. Wow, so he's out for a while. If Phil Jones comes in, how much is Phil Jones? He's a bonus point magnet if Man United can keep some clean sheets. 5.1 though. Oof. Bailly's 5.12. Rojo 4.9. Yeah, I just wouldn't go there. Taking out Hazard at home against Fulham and Aguero at home against Bournemouth seems like a bad idea. You're right, and taking Salah out against Everton at home also seems like a bad idea, but might just do it. But I feel I'm gonna wait till the end of the week, and reassess then. And like I said, I could go with no transfers this week. I think my team's in a fine state. And Aguero captain against Bournemouth, I'm also happy enough with that. Depending on the minutes he gets in Champions League, so he could be managing the Premier League. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my team. I'm just gonna wait and see, and I don't want to make a rash decision about bringing Sterling in. Jesus is injured, yeah, but it doesn't sound that bad. Well, do you think it's possible to reach your 480k currently? Probably get top 10k or more. Yeah, you mean to score against Liverpool? That would really announce him to the Everton fans. 2 more minutes to vote on the polls if you haven't already. And we'll go through them very soon. I think there's a lot of people who are rotation risks, to be honest. I don't think Aguero's. I mean, obviously, we've seen him have his minutes managed early in the season, but I think he's played 70 minutes or more the last 4 weeks. So I'm not as concerned as I was. But look, let's see what Pep says after midweek. If Man United can keep clean sheets, yeah, I mean that is the problem. If Arnautovic isn't fit, I don't necessarily need to panic on selling him. I may just play Doherty instead and keep Arnautovic for now and just save a transfer and maybe have a mini wildcard the week after. Is it good or bad for the Premier League that Aguero's the only striker? I mean, it's bad if Jesus is then suddenly fit for the next game, I think. The next Premier League game. Why Wan-Bissaka over Doherty? Surely Doherty's attacking threat is the better choice. For attacking threat, for sure, but Wan-Bissaka has clean sheet potential and bonus as well. Alright, let's do the polls if you haven't already voted. Yeah, I would consider Balbuena now. Their fixtures are better now. I think there's a goal or two coming for him over Christmas. All right, let me just refresh. Jumping on Sterling and Kane seems like an knee-jerk reaction. Look, I don't think you can say that Sterling is a knee-jerk reaction. Look how many points he scored. Look how many he scored last year. It's going to continue. I don't think you can say that Sterling is a knee-jerk. Kane, I mean, I don't think people are jumping on him, to be honest, especially not this week. So I don't know if that is a knee-jerk. It's not like he went nuts at the weekend. Who are you bringing in for game week 14? So this is Sterling and Sané. So 45% of you are bringing in none of them or already own. Probably should have split those answers into two separate ones. 31% of you bringing in Sterling, 17% Sané, and 5% both. So quite a bit of transfer activity for them. Do you have a Kane plan for game week 15? 61% of you either already own or bringing him in. That's a lot of faith going into Kane, who hasn't really taken off yet this year, and the rest of you obviously going without. Keep or sell Aguero, 55% saying keep, so it's quite close. Obviously the majority saying to keep him. Obviously it's Bournemouth at home. I don't think you can get rid for that game, especially for a hit. But it's not that high a percentage in favour of keeping. And then are you interested in a Spurs midfielder? 28% of you interested in Son, 26% in Ali, 27% none of them. Only 15% for Eriksen and 1% for someone else. So Son just about winning that one, but Ali quite close behind. Surprised about Eriksen. I guess it's that injury or that kind of stomach issue or whatever it is that he's got. Sterling's not an injury whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, it gets to a point where players... I mean, Sterling is not getting lucky with his points. He's going to continue. That just cannot be classed as a knee-jerk. Kane will smash it if form comes with fixtures. Definitely agree with you there. I saw a lot of form over fixtures tweets, or not maybe a lot, but I saw a few when Wilson scored against Man United. Now he's blanked the last two games. Tough fixtures coming up. Those blanks could continue. And yeah, you're right, actually, John. I don't think Kane's a knee-jerk either. People have been looking at this fixture swing for a long time. I don't think people are going to bring him in this week. It'll be the week after. I don't think we can say that Son's nailed just yet. You'd imagine, especially the way they played against Chelsea, that he will play more often than not, but no guarantees just yet. With only a very small sample size to look at. Right, people, I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks to everyone that's subscribed to get us to 25,000 subscribers. Apologies again for not being able to stream yesterday. Almost wasn't going to be able to stream tonight, but fit it in because there was lots to talk about, especially around Spurs, Man City, and knee jerks and all that good stuff. I'll be back with a video over probably Wednesday. Next stream will be on Thursday. We'll talk more about transfer options and stuff. Maybe I'll calm down from the City mids. I'm going to watch a few other videos, podcasts and stuff, and try and decide from there. If you've not already, hit a like on the stream, on the video. It would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. And I'll see you Thursday. Like Adam says, there's a deadline on Friday as well, so it'll be the night before. Otherwise, I will leave it there. Appreciate you all tuning in. As always, thanks for subscribing. 25,000 subscribers. Insane.